All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, with all of the money that is being thrown around this summer in the NBA, it's only fitting that All-Star center Nikola Jokic gets in on the fun as well. Earlier this week, Jokic and the Nuggets came together on a 5-year extension that's going to pay the big fella $270 million. Jokic, excuse me, is the reigning two-time NBA MVP, and he just wrapped up a season where he averaged 27 points, nearly 14 boards, and 8 assists per contest. Now, Jokic carried the Nuggets throughout the regular season, who were without the services of both Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. And that's important because you're talking about two guys that are max players, and the Nuggets didn't have their services. And it really showed in the postseason how they were missing them in the first round as they lost to the eventual NBA champion Golden State Warriors. Now, once the Nuggets paid Murray and Porter in past years, you knew that they were going to take care of Jokic, and rightfully so. We've seen what the big fella brings to the table as a scorer, as a rebounder, and as a facilitator. And he's one of the most offensively skilled players at his position in basketball. Now, of course, Jokic is getting his money, but the big question for the Nuggets is, will they be able to find a way to get healthy? The Nuggets have not had the services of Jamal Murray since midway through the 2020-2021 NBA season, as he suffered that ACL injury, missed Denver's postseason run, and then he missed all of this entire season. Michael Porter Jr. was basically there for a cup of coffee uh, during this season for the Nuggets. And of course, they're hopeful that he's healthy. So if you can get Murray back from that knee injury, and if you can get him looking like the Jamal Murray that we saw in the playoff bubble 2 years ago, the Nuggets are going to be a problem. And Michael Porter Jr., it's just been throughout his basketball career, which goes back to his time at the University of Missouri. It's just his inability to stay healthy. So that's going to be important for both of these players going forward because they are so important to what the Nuggets do. Now, Michael Malone, the Nuggets head coach, one of the best in the business. He, relies on his system. But the bottom line is you still need stars to go out there and produce. You've got one of the best in Jokic, but obviously he cannot do it by himself. Now, this is going to be a very important season coming up for the Nuggets because they need to get healthy. And I cannot harp on that enough because Denver needs to see what they have from their trio in Jokic, Porter, and of course Murray. And the thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if all three of them are healthy, and if things don't work out, if somebody not named Jokic would get shipped via trade. But the bottom line is, it's still important for them to see what happens. Now, with that said, if the Nuggets are healthy, can they contend with the top tier teams in the Western Conference? I think so, because you look at this past season, Denver, in spite of all of their injuries, they still managed to finish sixth in the West. You're talking about a team that 2 years ago, they made it all the way to the Western Conference finals. And with that said, you're talking about one of the best big men in the game, but he needs help. So I think that the Nuggets can be right there with the likes of the Warriors, with the likes of the Memphis Grizzlies, as well as far as being one of the better clubs in that conference. So if Denver can get healthy, look out. But the bottom line is the writing was on the wall. The Nuggets had to take care of Jokic. The Nuggets wanted to take care of Jokic. I've gone on record and said it before. Every single NBA player that has won the league MVP award at least twice is either in Springfield in the Basketball Hall of Fame, or they're going to be there. So, with that said, I think at this point, Nikola Jokic is going to be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. He has the potential to be the greatest player in Denver Nuggets franchise history. And that says something because the Nuggets have had some solid players come through their organization, even dating back to their days in the ABA with the likes of Dan Issel. You think about Carmelo Anthony, what he did for the first part of his NBA career in Denver, and now, of course, Mr. Jokic. So the writing was on the wall. It was inevitable, and the Nuggets took care of their big fella. Now let's see if the team around him can get healthy as Denver looks to push forward and make a title run, hopefully for their sake, next season. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.